Hey, you're joining Game Bro Corey today on the Level With Me podcast. Welcome, and we got our special guest for the evening. It is Mike, aka the Collector's Vault. How you doing today, Mike?
Oh no, your inner YouTuber came back. It's showing.
PogChamp! Oh, sorry guys, I'm reacting to the brand new trailer for the newest Pixar film, Luca.
Corey, don't turn into that person.
You know,
what's up, guys? It's your boy Mike from the Collector's Vault, and today we're gonna be talking. I can't finish that sentence. I'm so sorry.
Once a week, I do have the thought of like, why don't I just be these people who just have these React channels where all they do is watch videos? I'm like, that's the easiest content. Like it's literally like you do nothing.
Yeah, and the majority of the time they're just complaining. You know why? Because negativity sells on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually start this gosh dang podcast. This is a no cuss podcast. Don't tell your mom, but maybe we will cuss once or twice.
But Corey, you cuss all the time.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh, darn it.
Oh, gotta put a coin in the swear jar. You know the rules.
The swear jar is overfilling with coins. What am I supposed to do with it now? Do I give it to you? Do I give it to mom?
Well, first of all, I would empty it out and go buy yourself a video game or something.
So, wait, what? Is that how it works? If you swear more, you reward yourself? Because if that's the case, I'm just going to keep dropping F-bombs, A-bombs, B-bombs. Just go down the alphabet.
So you're telling me the more I swear, the more games I can get? All right.
Does that swear jar work when I'm at work? Like if I just walk up to one of my coworkers and I'm like, "What's up, fucko?" Do I get like 10 extra points?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. And if they respond back to you with not much F-word wad, then they give you, and then you get more points.
Mike,
I'm family friendly. I don't curse.
I was gonna say I do have to applaud you because I honestly don't want to curse as much as I am. I just am not like clever enough to think of like just saying like F or like F head or like in the moment. But yeah, I would like to curse less personally. Yeah. Hey, dillweed. No one says that.
I actually think about Beavis and Butthead because there's been plenty of times where like they're not censoring themselves, but they say things that is like not cursing, but it's still funnier than actually cursing. Like one of my favorites is like when they call each other butt wipe, and I'm like, that sounds funnier than ass wipe. It's like like shut up, butt wipe. I think that just sounds funny compared to ass wipe. I don't know.
I don't know if we're about to start the Game Bro Corey therapy session, but for some reason when I was really young and my father was still like living with me and was like more involved in my life because my mom and dad got divorced at a young age, but my dad always called me Butt Kiss for some reason, and he was really into Beavis and Butthead at the time. I feel like I probably might have watched Beavis and Butthead when I was like really young. Yeah, he always called me Butt Kiss, and I'm like, what? I don't get it.
I mean, it sounds like something that I would hear from Beavis and Butthead. I just don't recall that.
I haven't seen a lot of episodes of Beavis and Butthead. Really, the only thing I know about Beavis and Butthead is that that's where like Hank Hill originated because it's made from Mike Judge.
Yeah, there's actually a character on Beavis and Butthead that is like basically Hank Hill, just not Hank Hill.
Yeah. I've also seen the movie, which was okay.
I actually love that movie. It's so funny.
Beavis and Butthead is weird because I swear they like rebooted that show like 2 or 3 times, like after its initial like run in like what, the 90s. Like I think they rebooted in like the mid 2000s, and I feel like recently they're even like, hey, we're gonna bring back Beavis and Butthead again.
Yeah, they did it in like 2012, I would say, or like 2011, and I thought the show was still pretty funny because it didn't really like they didn't really change things up, but. Well, they were just. It was kind of like they were using modern things, like they were making like now they were just making fun of modern stuff, like they're making fun of Katy Perry and making fun of like the modern music videos. Like it was, I thought it was pretty fun.
Oh, thank God, because that was actually something I was just gonna say. I was gonna say that one of the things I know about Beavis and Butthead is they would literally just watch the music videos and almost like Mystery Science Theater, like critique them, and they're like, oh, oh, oh. I don't know a Beavis and Butthead joke, but they would do that, and I'm like, oh, that seems like fun. I like watching music videos myself, so yeah. I'm glad to hear that in 2010 or 11, whenever they rebooted, that they pretty much kept it the same. Because that seems like a integral ingredient to the Beavis and Butthead formula.
No, I agree. I mean, like the humor is still the same, which is why I thought it was funny. It was just, but like, so that was kind of like the more like way they modernized it, just by making them, you know, yeah. And that's actually a very good comparison. It is like Mystery Science Theater 3000, and the fact that they were doing that with modern videos was just really funny. Or like making fun of modern celebrities. Like, yeah, it's the same but different. But unfortunately, it didn't last very long. I think the show stopped after like 2 seasons or something because it wasn't for today's audiences.
I heard that Mike Judge is making Idiocracy 2, and you just get it in the mail, like in a little box, and you open it, and it's just a mirror. One could say a black mirror. Oh. I just need to put this out there.
Corey, all I'm gonna say is you ain't right there, boy.
All I'm gonna say is I saw Idiocracy when I was very young, and it really scarred me because I was like, yeah, this is gonna happen one day as our society is declining, like Idiocracy. And I remember when I watched that, I was like a teenager, and I'm like, oh God, I need to make a change. I can't let this happen because I believe that it could happen. And I was like, I need to start like reading books and like actually educating myself. I need to like try to work harder. Let me just tell you, folks, none of that happened. I literally have probably only read like 2 or 3 books in my whole life. Actually, probably more than that. Maybe like at least 5. I want to read more.
5 more than the average. That's 5 more than the average person, I would say.
I actually bought a few books recently. They're not that long, but I do want to read them. I just need to make the time. It's either like I was thinking of trying to read them before you go to bed because I feel like that's a good point because it's kind of like a nice relaxing thing. You know, it doesn't really like strain your eyes compared to like looking at your phone and reading the dribble on like Twitter or Facebook. Or yeah, just like doing it during the day. I mean, honestly, I was just outside grilling because it's a beautiful 80-degree day here in Pennsylvania. It's starting to warm up. We're starting to get to that summer weather. And yeah. I was enjoying a drink, and I was like, you know what? It would actually be really nice to just like read a book out here because it's very peaceful in my little town that I live in. Besides the road where all the cars drive by and during all my streams. It literally happens at least like 2 to 3 times. And it's such a small little town. You would think that the cops would like learn and just sit somewhere. I don't know if they're just flying through there or they just have the annoying like mufflers or whatever makes those noises. I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
Yeah, it's the muffler. They can be modified to sound loud so that when people are like, man, that car sounds pretty loud. It must be powerful. It's kind of the logic for it.
Yeah, I've really like never been too into that kind of stuff. Although I was like talking to Megan recently, and I was like, I'm kind of humoring the idea of my next car being more of a sporty car. I've only had 2 cars in my life. I had a 2000 Nissan Altima, which is kind of like a small, like boxy, very basic car. And now I have a 2014 Nissan Rogue, which is nice. It's like a Jeep Grand Cherokee type thing. I kind of like it because it's a nice vehicle if you want to like get a bunch of people and go somewhere. Literally, when I test drove the car, I'm like, I like this car. It feels like a car that I could go on like adventures with, which I would say is adequate to what has happened with it. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm just getting older and need to like quote unquote feel younger. But I was like, I might like to get a more smaller, sporty car in the future. Do you have any car preferences? Anything like that?
I really haven't been much of a car guy because myself. I've only ever owned my 2 cars, which is my old Honda Civic. May it rest in peace. The car it did die like 2 years ago, unfortunately. But But it was just so it was just a nice little because I'm a relatively like small guy, so I can fit in like these kind of cars. So the Honda Civic was great. It was just because it was just good on gas. So I do like cars that are good on gas because I just don't like spending too much money on gas. But then I also like sporty cars, which are gas guzzlers. So because my other car is a Camaro, so it's kind of like the opposite when it comes to a car that's good on gas mileage. But as far as like my car preferences, like I mean, I've always like been like a fan of Mustangs and Camaros. I think they're like that. They're just like my like that's like the car that I want for myself. I'm actually a big like I'm not sure if you can picture it, but I'm actually a really big fan of the Mustangs from the early 2000s, like from the year like 2000 2005. And I thought those I'm sorry, not Camaros, Mustangs. Those Mustangs just looked so cool. And then when the Camaros came back, like after the first Transformers movie, that's when I thought like they were really sharp too. So they've been like my two favorites.
Mike, there's a reason we are destined to be this podcast co-host group right here, because those are exactly the type of cars I was looking into getting as my next quote unquote more sporty car.
Nice.
Because I agree. Right when I don't mean to reopen the Transformers Michael Bay podcast, but yeah, when the first Transformers movie came out and Bumblebee was that nice like 2007 or 8 Camaro
around there,
yeah, I was like,
nice.
That car is beautiful. And again, I'm not a car guy, but I'm like, I really like the look of that car.
Yeah,
I'd even get it in yellow, and I don't even really like yellow that much.
I would not get the Bumblebee colors. It's okay with the black stripe down the middle because it's not all yellow, but yeah.
I feel like I talked about this before in one of the episodes, but I don't understand people who get like the really crazy like decals on their car. If I would ever get a decal, it would be like just a line or like a very small thing. But I've seen some people, I mean, these are like really rare exceptions where like they have this like piece of art on their hood that's almost like this, like someone put so much time into it, and it's such like an edgelordy thing of like a Grim Reaper with like a big scythe, and it's got like these like blue and purple flames behind it, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, do you actually like, is that actually really cool?
I mean,
I don't know.
I think it's the same. Some people just like it. I mean, then again, you can also remember like there are some people who just like getting a lot of they like to wear very eccentric clothing, or they let to have
call it loud.
Like, yeah, they're very, or they're all their whole body's covered in tattoos. You might think, like, yeah, but like you might think, why are you doing that to yourself? But some people just like it. It's I don't know. I'm getting a little touchy feely here, but it's like it's expressive.
No, I actually do agree with you, because that is how I kind of thought about it. I'm like, well, I guess they just look at it as like, yeah, your body is, some people say it's like your canvas to put whatever art you want to put on there, and tattoos are very in vogue right now, with everyone having like sleeves and even getting like the neck and face tattoos.
Yeah, and I think my preference is very similar. I don't want to get a tattoo. I'm fine with the clean cut look, and that's kind of how I want my cars to be. I don't need them having like all these fancy doodads or spoilers or decals. Like, no, like don't do that. That's just my preference. Some people love it, and that's fine.
Oh gosh, what is it called? It's like, is it a spoiler? Is that like the thing that's on like the back of like the trunk?
The spoiler, yeah.
Yeah, when you see like one that's like really like high up, I'm just like, my God, like what are you compensating for, my guy? I think it just always looks awful.
Yeah. Leo doesn't like him either. He's barking about it.
Except in the movie Cars. Yeah, I bet you never thought that Game Bro Corey would bring up Cars on the podcast, the Pixar movie. I forget the name of the character, but it was like one of the race cars that Lightning McQueen looked up to. He was like a light blue car, and he like raced for, I think it was called Dynaco. It's like the fake gas station that's in Toy Story, and they actually reference it in Cars. I don't know how I remember all this. But he had like a really like high up spoiler, and it actually looked cool. I remember I actually had a toy of that for some reason. I have no idea why. The only piece of Cars merch I ever owned. It's probably in a dumpster somewhere.
Not quite sure. Was it? No. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, he looked like a speed dragster.
Let me
or something.
see here. Cars, light blue car. Let me see what the.
I was gonna say, how are you gonna find it? I don't know the guy's name. I want the images.
Oh, whoops! I need to do Cars Pixar. Okay, here we go. Where is he? These are all the Lightning McQueen as that.
Let's see. Carson Wentz. No, not that one. Oh, here it is.
Oh, here
it's
he
this guy.
is.
It's the King. Or Chase. Is that his name?
Let's see. For some reason I'm finding DeviantArt. It's not like DeviantArt where you go, oh God. It's just like someone drew a picture of him on DeviantArt.
Oh God! Why does it look like that?
Where is his gosh dang name? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got it. It's Chase. There you go. You get some points, some level with me points.
Nice. Sponsored by Darnico.
You can cash those in and I don't know, maybe get like a Chinese finger trap, or like.
Can I get a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
A Tootsie Roll. Tootsie
Roll.
I don't know if you ever went to the like boardwalk in Wildwood, New Jersey, but at one point.
Oh my gosh, plenty of times.
At one point, the one arcade, you could actually trade in your tickets and tokens for packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I did that when I was younger.
Oh yeah, there actually are some places on the boardwalk. I think it's like the boardwalk on the mall or something. It's like it's basically like a giant little mini mall, and I remember going there because they always had like there was an area where they had like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Actually, there were a bunch of. Like,
I know what you're talking about too. Yep,
there's a bunch of them, but there's like a bunch of collectible card shops on the boardwalk, which is mind-boggling. And I remember whenever you go in there, sometimes you find really good deals. At least now, like I've been dying to go back to the beach and just walk the boardwalk and go to all these stands, and then just get all of these crazy deals. Because like at the time, you think, oh my, in some cases, it is a ripoff because you'll see like modern Yu-Gi-Oh packs, which are like $4 a pack, and they'll have them up there for like $10, or like the equivalent of like the tickets that equal $10 or something, or tokens. But then sometimes I love going there and it's like, oh my gosh, like, is that a Legend of Blue Eyes pack for like $5? Hell yeah. Like, or they'll have like crazy cards for cheap. Or the inverse, they'll have like commons for like $10. So it's like, it's kind of funny.
It's literally like throwing a dart. Like, who knows what you're going to get.
I know. I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but yeah, that's, man, I really want to go to the beach now just to go to those shops and just raid the heck out of them.
No, I totally agree with you because I want to say it was like in 2019. Yeah, it was me and Megan's like 4th year anniversary. Yeah. And we went down to Atlantic City. Then after that, we went to like Wildwood and Cape May, New Jersey. And when we went on the Wildwood Boardwalk, I found this like cool little like, I don't know how to put it. It was like, I guess like a toy store, but they also had like collectible toys, like Star Wars toys. They had like Marvel figures, video game toys, like almost more than just like a toy shop, like a traditional one, but more of like a collector's like toy shop or something like that. And they had these really nice like Star Wars toys that I was actually looking for. I forget the name of them, like the proper series, but they were like an exclusive line of figures that you could only get initially at Disney stores, like the proper Disney store that you can only find like a dime a dozen nowadays. But they had like older figures in there, and I was like, whoa, this is a really cool find. And guess what? They weren't even priced like higher. They were like priced at like, I don't know, like the normal sale price of them, like $20 or maybe a little less than that. And yeah, there's like, I want to say like 4 or 5 of those shops, and I didn't end up going in all of them because I was like, well, I don't want to spend too much money at the boardwalk. But I was like, I was shocked to find all these little like collectible toy stores with like cool figures. And yeah, there was definitely like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards and those things. And I definitely agree with you. Like those shops are all like ripe for the taking.
Oh man, my mouth's just watering. I can't wait to go back to the beach just for that reason.
You just have to, skim your way through all the like t-shirt stores where you can get like a Fortnite t-shirt, or you can get like Shrek dabbing, or whatever the popular meme is.
Sure.
All the cringy shirts that one day when I just want to go buy like a bunch of those shirts and just wear them around like ironically and be like, yeah, don't I look so cool with my shirt of like the Grinch like drinking a beer? You know the shirt I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about, I think.
And then there's like it. It's so funny for people who have never been to like the Jersey boardwalks, but like each block I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but each block has like the same like 5 or 6 like shops, but they're all just like jumbled around like each row. So there's probably like at least 2 or 3 like carnival games or whatever, boardwalk games, whatever you call them, like throwing the dart at like a balloon, or the one you talked about last time where you have to like hit the milk bottles over. Then there's at least like, I'd say like 1 or 2 pizza places. There's probably like 1 or 2 like some sort of sweets like candy, water taffy, ice cream, Dippin' Dots, and yeah, then there's like 3 or 4 of those like, oh, you can come get all your beach attire, all the cringy shirts you want here, and they're all like overpriced for some reason, even though it's like, who the hell is gonna wear this like stupid, yeah, whatever. Then you also get the occasional fun boardwalk amusement parks, which I would not trust any of those rides. That's Game Bro Corey's advice. Do not go on the boardwalk rides. Unless you want to get tetanus. Or, maybe you lose an eye or arm. I am always curious about those haunted houses, though. As I am kind of a fan of haunted houses. I feel like it'd be fun to just go through them and kind of like laugh at it.
I'm sorry, but I did not realize my microphone was off. I'm sorry. I wanted to say I love the boardwalk and I love those rides, and I don't know where you got tetanus shot from.
No, you're getting tetanus, not the shot. You're getting like, isn't that?
You're getting.
Is it tetanus from like rusty nails and?
Yeah, but like, what are you touching just from walking on the boardwalk?
I meant on the amusement park rides on the board. Like, you know how there's like a Ferris wheel or like the tilt-a-whirl or whatever?
Yeah, but like, you're not like, ooh, look at that shiny nail. I'm gonna touch it. Like,
I'm just saying they've been there. They're getting warned by the salt water, the sea air. I don't know, man.
Maybe you can make the argument that like, oh, I don't trust that wooden roller coaster because of the salt water, destroying the wood. I can kind of get that. Maybe.
Shout outs to my buddy Pizza Coon, who when we went to the beach, it was like me and a bunch of friends, and he won like a life-size like shark plushie, and unbeknownst to all of us, he was just like, he went on like a bunch of these rides, like the amusement park rides with the shark, and he actually has a picture of being in the haunted mansion ride at the boardwalk with the shark as he's like being scared, and he has that picture probably like framed in his house or apartment somewhere. And God bless it.
That's amazing.
It makes me laugh every time I see it.
That'd be funny for like the roller coaster ride. Yeah, when like the like when you go down that one specific hill and there's a camera, then you can like and then you can pay $25 for a picture of you on the roller coaster. It is kind of funny to have like, I guess you can have a toy next to you, make it kind of look funny.
The big banana with the Rasta hat and the dreads, and his eyes are bloodshot. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I keep rehashing all the old content. 420 was last week. I'm sorry.
But they're still very accurate. They do have those exact same toys, like at the boardwalk.
The Peter Griffin that's like life size for some reason.
Yeah,
like
all the. That? It's funny that you mentioned Peter Griffin. There were so many like Brian and like I remember like the last time I was at the boardwalk. This is probably like 2 years ago, last year I was there briefly. But the point is, nothing but Brian and Stewie plushies everywhere at all these boardwalks. It's like, my God, who wants all these Brians and Stewies?
I bet Seth MacFarlane walks down there and he's like, "Oh, hey, look at that!"
And hey, look at that! I voiced that guy. I voiced that guy.
Yep.
And that guy. And then he sees Pikachu. He's like, "I don't voice him. I wish I did." Because there are also a lot of Pikachu toys.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of... They've been getting better with, like, a variety. There's a lot of, like, Pokemon stuff, and it's usually always, like, Gen 1, like Pikachu, Charmander, like, the starters and Pikachu. There's always, like, Mario and, like, Luggy. There's the Fortnite llama for some reason, which now I guess I have to buy because I'm the Fortnite guy.
I'm shocked you don't have it already. Your bedroom is just... See, like, when all of your fans watch your streams, they don't notice it, but like there's actually just piles of llamas all over. Just they're just not in the view of the camera.
I'm gonna be honest. It's probably because I just started playing Fortnite, but I don't even get like the appeal or like the humor behind the llama. I found like a llama once or twice on the map proper. I think they just randomly spawn somewhere on the map, and you just basically open it up like a chest. It just takes slightly longer, and you just get like a bunch of items after you open them. And I'm like, is there nothing more to the llamas than it's just basically like a fancy chest that looks like kind of funny and is purple and pink? I don't know.
See, I don't play Fortnite.
Pink, excuse me.
See, I don't play Fortnite, so I don't quite understand that. Like, how are you opening a llama?
Well, it's a piñata.
Oh,
it's like a piñata llama.
Oh,
and it's like purple and blue.
Okay, I'm just thinking like it's an actual llama. Like what are you doing? You just like ripping it open, like the Tan from Star Wars or something. I was confused.
I also want to say shout out to Fortnite as I paid more money for the skins, and I actually got the alien pack because they put that back up there. Oh, sorry, that link was weird, but there's the Fortnite llama, and there's a like one of the emotes you get in the alien pack in Fortnite. You actually, and it's like it's supposed to be like a chest burster coming out of your character, but because it's Fortnite and it's for the children, there's no alien or little alien embryo thing that comes out of your chest. It's a little Fortnite llama.
That's boring.
And there's no blood or guts, obviously.
It should be the little baby alien with all the like acidic blood and everything.
I mean, it's still kind of dark if you think about it. At the end of the day, it's like something is bursting out of your character's chest, which is weird.
I guess that llama is kind of creepy looking with its like little death stare. Admittedly, if I saw a little llama popping out of someone's chest, like, I'd be like, what is that? I'd be freaking out, too.
It doesn't even make sense if you really think about it. A llama is just paper mache. You would think the paper would just, like, melt in your stomach. Like, how is it holding up together?
It's a demon piñata.
Yeah, it does. I do really scratch my head sometimes with some of these Fortnite crossovers. I mean, I think it's rad that like they put this alien stuff in there, but I guess it's for like me and like older people because do kids know what Alien is? Do kids know who Ripley is? Do they know who Jonesy is? Do you know who Jonesy is, Mike?
I don't know who Jonesy is.
Jonesy's a cat. Come on, kid. Mike.
Oh, Jonesy the cat.
In Alien and Aliens.
Oh yes, the cat that Ripley saves in the end of the movie.
You can even play as the alien, like that's one of the skins. It's Ripley or the xenomorph. And like, I'm not gonna lie, the xenomorph is like kind of scary. Like when I was younger, I thought the xenomorph was terrifying.
Oh well, yeah, it's a xenomorph. I mean, I think kids who watch those movies were freaked out. Like if you weren't freaked out, you were a brave little child. I never thought the movie itself was scary, but it's just like the alien itself I thought was kind of scary. The xenomorph, they're just a really scary design. Nowadays, I'm a man, so I'm not too afraid of them, but
they also don't exist, so. And if they do, they're all on a different planet or on the whatever the. See, this is where my alien knowledge lacks. I forget the name of the station they go to.
I'm pretty sure they're only in France, so only the French have to deal with them.
Oh, cool. I'm pretty sure we read that article last week about aliens. That's what that article was talking about.
Oh, sucks! It sucks to be the French then.
Alien.
Oh, suck les bleus. I'm sorry to all of our French fans.
Je m'appelle Pierre. Qu'est-ce que c'est, alien? Comment allez-vous?
Sounds like someone knows their French. Someone knows their French.
Parlez-vous croissant? Okay, I'll stop. I took 3 years of French. That's all I got. Pamplemousse. That's a good one.
I forgot that boon is French.
Le boon? Écoli? What did I do my week? Well, besides catch up on my French, I you know what? For some reason, my lizard brain, it crawled out of the nethers, and it was like, I require a Big Mac. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to take a trip to McDonald's. And
Don't you hate it when your lizard brain just starts making noises like that spontaneously?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I got to listen to it. So we talked about this again on the podcast. How many times am I going to say that this episode? But I don't really eat a lot of fast food. So it's been quite a while since I had like McDonald's. And I think it was because I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about going to McDonald's. And I was like, oh man, I'm really craving a Big Mac. I want to get it. Also, isn't this just quality podcast content? I'm just talking about going to McDonald's. One of the most common things I'm sure a lot of Americans do. But here I am, Game Bro Corey. It's a story for me. You sit back and you listen to this story. So anyways, I'm in the drive-thru. I know what I'm about to order. And also, just the nice, like, essence of McDonald's, you know, the person in front of me in the drive-thru is already like berating the employee who's like on the speaker, like trying to take their order. They're already like,
I said I want Coke, not Diet Coke.
Yeah,
God,
they're already mad at them, and I'm just like, yep, this is McDonald's. I'm definitely at the right place. So I order my Big Mac. I get the Big Mac. I go home, and I open up my little box that it comes in. And my fries, I'm not going to lie, I think the fries might have been better than the actual sandwich itself. But that's not saying much. The fries were not even, like, fresh. They were, like, limp.
Ugh.
And the Big Mac, I swear, they, like, forgot to put ingredients on it unless they just skimp. And I don't know, man. Like, it was just so disappointing. And, like, I was done eating it. And I was like, well, I mean, I got the taste of Thousand Island, which is delicious. But I was just like, man, like, why did I even get this? Like, that was like 1,000 calories that I shoved down my throat that I didn't even need to. And it was so disappointing. And I was like, I could have done so much better. I could have just went to Five Guys and got like the fresh burger and the fresh fries, and so good. I feel like I always like have this problem when I go back to like a lot of these fast food restaurants. And it's always super disappointing.
Another victim of corporate media and advertising. They got you, Corey.
Pretty much.
I will say this though. I'm definitely a victim to this as well. Like there was a time where I remember it was where was it? I think it was like a certain fried chicken place, and it wasn't like a chain restaurant. It wasn't like KFC or Popeyes or anything. It was I think it was no, it wasn't that. It was like it was in a grocery store, and they had like, you know, so I guess technically it's not like a restaurant or a fast food restaurant, but you know, some grocery stores have like food courts.
Yeah.
So I remember like locally, my one grocery store had a food court, and they did have fried chicken that always looked so good. And I remember getting it, and then I would get like sick like an hour later, like, oh my god, why'd I eat this? And then like a month later, I'll be like, you know what? I'm craving some fried chicken again. And then I'll be like in this grocery store and I see that chicken again, and I just think to myself, wait a minute, why did I not like this chicken? It looks so good. So I buy it again, and then I get sick again. And I'm like, why did I buy it again?
The lizard brain.
Exactly, my lizard brain. Get the fried chicken, Mike. You know you want it. But my belly hurt last time. I don't care. You better buy it and eat it.
Oh man, that is it. Yeah, it was just really sad, and it just like really made me go like, I need to remember this for next time. Like, I don't need this Big Mac. I know there were times where I had a Big Mac in my life and it was phenomenal. And that's, I guess, what my body is craving, but I just need to be like, you know what, that was a rare scenario. It's usually not going to be this great. But it's also like, it's hard for me to even like justify that, because I also kind of rationale in my brain. I'm like, well, what if it's just this McDonald's? Because I've actually gone to this McDonald's before and I've had subpar food. And I'm like, well, is it this one? I don't go to McDonald's a lot, so it's hard to really tell that kind of stuff. I don't know. I do want to shout out, though. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's very possible.
I do want to shout out, though, an image I just popped in our Discord chat here. I miss this promotional item that lasted, I want to say, at least like 6 months at McDonald's, and it was probably like my favorite food item they had. It was called the McWrap, and it was basically like a big, like, it was almost like a burrito size, like, wrap, and it was full of like either crispy or grilled chicken and then like other sort of like fresh ingredients, almost like a salad type stuff, like lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, some sort of cheese, and some sort of like sauce in each of them. And my God, they were so good. I just remembered getting these like all the time. And I'm sure they were still like 1,000 calories, but in my brain, I was like, this is healthier for you, right?
I'll be honest, I never had this before, but these look incredible. Because I do like chicken wraps, and these just look so tasty.
They were actually really good. Like, they were probably one of my favorite items ever from McDonald's.
Yeah. It looks like it looks like a BLT wrap with
pretty much.
Looks, oh gosh, I want that so bad right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry to tantalize you with that image.
Darn you, Corey!
Everyone, just be in Mike's shoes and Google the McWrap, and you'll find all sorts of delicious pictures of them.
Don't do it, folks. You're gonna regret it because you're gonna get super hungry. Then you're gonna go to McDonald's, and then you're gonna be sad.
They don't even have the McWrap anymore.
Exactly. You're just gonna be disappointed. Then you're gonna buy a Big Mac and be like, "Oh, I taste this Thousand Island dressing."
Hashtag bring back the McWrap. Make a trend.
What?
Maybe we can
get a title drop.
Forget the stupid. Oh, where's the McRib? I'm 27 years old. I still haven't had a McRib. I don't care about a McRib. All right. Bring back the McWrap. It was delicious. And in my lizard brain, it said it was healthy. There's lettuce and tomato on it.
I'm pretty sure the McRib is no longer available because the animal that they made it from is extinct.
They can make it from whatever they want. They got the press for the fake rib joints.
Yeah, it's just like meat juice, and they just kind of like mold it into like a rib shape. And then they just covered in more sauce. And there you go. There's your rib. There's your McRib.
Thinking about it, it'd probably be a good idea for McDonald's to actually bring back the McWrap so they could just trick me again, and I go get it, and I'm like, this is not as good as I remembered it was being. I wasted another $10 at McDonald's.
Oh my gosh, I don't think they're that expensive.
Well, my Big Mac combo is like 8 something.
That's stupid.
And I got the media. Yeah.
Inflation.
I also wanted to wrap up this story and say again how, even though these look healthy, they're still like the equivalent of eating like a Big Mac or whatever. I always think it's funny how like every fast food place has like one salad on the menu, but like 9 times out of 10, the salad ends up being more calories than the actual like just a chicken sandwich or whatever, because they give you like so much goddamn dressing. Sorry to curse, but
it's true though. People are like, I'm being healthy. Why am I getting heavier?
I'm being healthy as I pour my 16 ounces of Thousand Island dressing on my chicken salad.
It's even funnier when they're like, yes, I'll take 5 large large fries and 2 double cheeseburgers, a little chocolate eclair pudding sundae, and a Diet Coke. Now I'm healthy.
Classic. I'm
not sure who I'm imitating, but I just do like when they do all this and then they get like a diet soda, and it's like, really, that's your escape. That's your excuse. Whatevs.
So that was my McDonald's disappointing trip. I do got a shout out though. I went to Chipotle, and if I have not been eating the best this week. I've been having honestly a lot of like quote unquote fast food. So I had the McDonald's, disappointing. Then I got Chipotle the other day with my friend. Really, really great. Again, I guess Chipotle is technically considered fast food, but it's kind of like, it's more fresh than a McDonald's. It's almost more like a Subway or a Panera. But that was really good. And then the other day, or no, it was that same day, I ended up going to Wawa. And I don't know if you know this, Mike, but Wawa now has burgers and fries. And I got one of their burgers, and you know what? It's actually pretty good. I was shocked at how good the Wawa burger was. I was like,
I did see that. I saw the commercial.
first of all, it's pretty big. It was like, I'd say it was at least like a 6 or 8 ounce patty. Maybe not 8 ounces, but it was a decent like thickness.
That's gigantic. That's a half a pound.
Yeah, and like the size of the burger itself was like kind of big. Like it was, I wouldn't say it's almost like a Red Robin size burger. If anyone's ever been there,
I don't really know. Size.
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it. You need like both your hands to hold the burger, I guess. I cut mine in half because I don't know, I'm a baby, but I literally like. From the second I cut this thing on this plate and I started like I took my first bite and then like I feel like the burger was gone. Like it was just like a fever dream. I ate it so quickly. I was like, wow, that was way better than I expected it to be. And I really didn't even get anything special. I just got a very basic burger with like bacon and cheese and, you know, whatever you would expect on like a traditional American hamburger, but it was really good.
I have been meaning to try it out. I just because I noticed like a long time ago. And then, like even before the commercials were showing up, it said, "Oh look, just in time for dinner, burgers and fries." I'm like, oh, "That's kind of cool." Like I think that's one thing Wawa was like severely lacking was at the very least was French fries. You know, that's kind of like the one thing that was like separating Wawa from like Sheetz. Cause I always said Sheetz has much more variety, but I've always loved Wawa sandwiches more. But now it's like, oh my gosh, now Wawa has French fries and burgers. Like they're pretty much like on par with Sheetz at this point. But I have never gone there after 4 o'clock because I don't know why they have a 4 o'clock or a 4 p.m. like time
that's true.
Like, window. Like it's just in time for dinner. It's like, well, what about lunch? What if I want a burger for lunch?
They also have like pasta bowls now. I saw on the menu.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
that's
weird.
Pretty cool too.
I didn't get.
I think it's kind of funny with the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I didn't get to try their fries yet, but they did look good.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of funny because like the commercial was like, "Who's hungry?" and the guy like brings home like dinner for his family. I'm like, and if it was me, as a child, I'd be like, "Wait, Dad, you went to Wawa for dinner? Like, what's wrong with you?" yeah, gas station. Essentially, yeah, he went to a gas station.
Imagine if he did that in like the '90s or like before Wawa was invented, and he just went to like 7-Eleven and he's like, "Okay, Jimmy, here's some Slim Jims. Here's a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yeah, here's some those like taquitos rolling on.
Oh, and I got you a Diet Coke, so it's healthy now.
And let's not forget it. and a slushie for dessert. Like, thanks, Dad.
I was gonna say though, I know this is very like East Coast centric, but yeah, like both Wawa and Sheetz are definitely that nice. Like you could get food whenever you want. I wanted to say a good drunk staple, but you know maybe. Not everyone drinks, but it's very convenient that you can always go there and get your made-to-order food. But Wawa definitely seemed like more of a healthier option, where it was more like a deli, where Sheetz was way more like into the fried foods and like even like their drinks. I feel like are way more like over the top and extra and very like sugary and decadent.
It's actually a really good description. Yeah, Wawa always was more like a deli, while like Sheetz was like, here you can get whatever the heck you want. Like you can get fried chicken and like French fries, and I think they even had pizzas too. They had like little personal pizzas.
Yeah. There was a running joke where one night after a bar crawl with me and my buddies, again, shout outs to the great Pizza Coon, he ended up getting. I don't think they actually had slices. I don't think they had personal pizzas, which I don't understand how that works. Maybe it was just a frozen slice that they put in their oven or whatever. But he got the little like triangle cardboard box of the pizza, and he ended up like passing out before he ended up ever eating it. And we just have this visualization of him like we get back to the dorm and we're all like a little drunk and you know like kind of all like tired as well, and he just like sat on the chair and he just like passed out, and he was like leaning forward like holding the pizza box, and he wasn't like sick or he wasn't like hurt or anything. He was literally just like sleeping, and we're like kind of like, should we disturb him? Like, is he good? You think we should wake him up? Do you think he wants his pizza? The moral of the story though was he ended up leaving the pizza. Like I think he put it in the fridge and actually just went to like bed, and that pizza stayed in their fridge until like the end of the semester, at least like 3 or 4 months. And again, another running joke was, is Pizza Coon ever going to come and pick up his pizza?
Did the pizza like grow legs or something at that point? I figure if it's staying in there for that long, it probably like became sentient.
Yeah, the pizza ended up going to college as well. I think it minored in technical engineering.
Probably better than Pizza Coon in college.
Pizza Coon is living a very successful life. Shout out to Pizza Coon. Love that guy. I was gonna ask you before I switch topics here. Do you have a like go-to Wawa order? I'm talking about like the made-to-order stuff, not just I get a thing of peanut M&Ms and a vitamin water or whatever.
Wait, at Wawa?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always go to the kiosk and get my sandwiches.
Yeah. What do you typically get? Like, what's your go-to?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. What do I get? I'm sorry. I thought you said, "Do I go to get?" I'm actually a big fan again, of like their hoagies. So I usually just go for like my go-tos are the Italian hoagie, or the chicken parm sandwich, or like a cheesesteak. That's just like again like my go-to like lunch or like my I don't want to say like my drunken like
let's
food
just say
crazy.
like late night, because like at the end of the day, if you're going out like after like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m.
everything's closed except for Wawa. Yeah, I would definitely
Wawa or some other fast foods. And personally, I would rather go to Wawa than go to McDonald's or Taco Bell or Wendy's. Yeah, I actually think Wawa has pretty good food.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I usually go for like the Italian hoagie or like a chicken parm sandwich or a cheesesteak.
Weirdly enough,
and maybe a bag of chips.
Weirdly enough, my go-to thing is always, and I even get this at Sheets too, I just always get a burrito at these places. And it's never an elegant, like, it's not like even comparable to like a burrito you might get at like Taco Bell or like Chipotle or something. Like, it's kind of a lower tier quality, but you still get like, you can customize it. You can put rice and beans, your protein. You can add like other things like vegetables and stuff. But for some reason, that's like always my go-to. I just like getting a burrito. I'll even get breakfast burritos if I'm ever like,
I do like those too.
At a Wawa or Sheets in the morning. And then this is a secret thing, a treat that I really enjoy getting. I always like getting the frozen chai lattes, or I think it's just called the frozen chai actually. And I think you can get it just like plain, or you can get the vanilla one. I'll mix them up. I'll either get the plain or the vanilla, but it almost reminds me of like, it kind of has like a cinnamon or like a pumpkin spice flavor going on. And I think it's like, I don't know what it's made of. It's almost like a milkshake, but I end up getting that thing. Like if I'm in the mood for Wawa or Sheets, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to grab one of these.
I don't think I ever gotten like a dessert, like the coffees or like the milkshake things behind that you get, basically like the cold treats you get behind the counter. I never get those before at Wawa, but I did forget this. I like their quesadillas.
Oh yeah,
they're not bad.
Yep, they're good.
I normally get the buffalo chicken quesadilla. That's like another little go-to for me.
All shout outs to my most desperate pick of a item on those made-to-order things. At Sheets one time, I got I think it was the cotton candy shake or something like that.
How was that?
And it's, if you ever see like cotton candy, like ice cream, it's like this pink or blue mess. And like, that's pretty much what came out. It was like a bright light blue. That's a alliteration there. Bright blue. I can't even say it again. It was like a milkshake with like whipped cream, and even though like this thing definitely was not good for me, like it probably like shaved off a year or two of my life, but my God, it was pretty good. It was just like sugar, like just sugar right to the veins. Like I'm smacking my wrist, like I need that sugar. Shove it down my throat.
Interesting.
I don't know why I got it, but it was good.
Interesting.
You can probably go get it now. Oh, also shout outs to Sheets. They have the Reese's peanut butter cup hot chocolate, which is actually, I really enjoy it every once in a while. I haven't gotten it in a while, but I remember I got it like back in the day, and it's literally hot chocolate, and they take like, I feel like a tablespoon or two of like the Reese's peanut butter and just put in the hot chocolate. So by the end of the peanut butter, you just have like a glob by the end of the hot chocolate, you just have a glob of peanut butter at the bottom. And it's kind of messy and impractical, but my God, it's delicious.
This has been one of the most like
food crimes.
Interesting conversations, yeah.
Just food crimes. It's okay.
This is now a food podcast.
Join us next week where we talk about grilling.
Oh, I have something to mention about that. So
I've been grilling a lot. I'm going to use my grill quite a bit. The only thing that I hate about using my grill is I have a charcoal grill, so I have to clean it like almost every time after I use it, like the whole like the actual like grill itself and then like the internals where all the charcoal goes. But I literally was grilling hours ago. I made some banging pork chops.
Nice.
And then I think on Saturday or maybe it's Friday, I made like steak on there too. And I actually made like corn on the grill, and I like wrapped the corn in like tin foil and I like seasoned it with like some olive oil and some salt and pepper. And I recently had elote, which is like Mexican street corn. And I kind of wanted to make something like that, so I put some like spices on the corn, like paprika and chipotle powder. It was really, really good.
You're inviting me over for dinner next time. I want to try out some of this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I love cooking.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
yeah, video games.
Oh, yeah, we talk about those. Well, actually,
sometimes.
I do have a few things to say before we get to the gaming. I also wanted to shout out, I ended up going to the movie theater for the first time in a while.
No, very nice.
I honestly think I haven't been to the movies since before like the Pandy, so probably sometime in 2019. It might have been Rise of Skywalker was the last movie I saw, or maybe it was Spider-Man: Far From Home. I forget when that came out, but it was a good experience. I'll talk about the movie later. It was an anime movie, which I think was also the first time I've ever seen one of the like an anime movie in theaters. Like I actually watched the whole movie like subbed. But it was just really like refreshing and nice to get back into the movie theater environment. And I didn't feel worried about like the pandemic stuff going on. Like they social distance everyone, like space people out, and they do take precautions about like cleaning the chairs and stuff like that. And everyone in the theater was wearing masks. Although it does like make me scratch my head because it's like, yeah, you're supposed to wear masks, but then at the same time, they're selling all the concessions, so there's people constantly moving their masks to eat their popcorn and take drinks, and it's like, I get it's helping, I guess, a little bit, but I don't know, it seems a little redundant. I forget that, though. I don't want to make, like, any sort of statement. I'm not feeling like, I'm anti-mask or anything like that. I'm just saying I really enjoyed hopping back into the theater and the theater experience. I missed it.
That's not anti-mask, Corey. That's just you wanting to go back to normality. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There are a lot of restrictions being loosened with the vaccines coming out there. I actually still really want to try to sign up to get my vaccine. I haven't got it yet. All right, I got one more thing to say before I'll throw the ball over to you, then we can actually get to the gaming podcast. But I did want to shout out that I also, on Sunday, finally got to go for a walk around my little neighborhood for the first time, which I usually do a lot during like the summer and like even late fall when it's like still warm out. And it, like I said earlier, it's like starting to actually get nice out. It's like, honestly, tonight it's really beautiful. It's like in the like 60s, maybe even like the high 50s, and it was like 80 something today. It was really, really great. And it was just so nice, like walking around my neighborhood, even though there's not too much to see. It's a lot of farms. I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, but just like going on my little trail, there's like a little like church and like cemetery area, and the cemetery is kind of like got this nice little trail with like some like forest around it, and there's like a little creek, and I actually saw some like frogs in the creek and some little minnows and stuff like that. And the day that I went for a walk, it was like a little windy out too, so there was a nice breeze going, and just hearing like the sound of like the wind going with the slight breeze and like all the like grass and stuff like that like blowing. It was just so like relaxing, and like I just felt like I was one with nature, and it was so nice. Also, nice. I found a carcass of a dead animal while I was at the cemetery, and I don't know what it was.
Was it a zombie animal corpse?
I did not wait around to figure that out.
Good, smart man, smart man.
I'm like, if I see any sort of bone in the cemetery, I should probably get out of the cemetery. But that being said, that was pretty much my week besides gaming news and video game stuff. Do you have anything you want to add, Mike, before we officially start this?
Not really. I unfortunately had to work a lot for the last 2 weeks, but I did take a nice 3-day weekend. I took off Monday for a nice little 3-day weekend because it was my birthday weekend, and actually I have a lot of birthdays in April, so it was like a combination of me, my mom, my brother, and my friend's birthday. Yeah, and so I was out with my friends on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. And Sunday was having birthday celebrations with like my family and stuff.
Well, happy birthday! Nice. Now you get double podcast points for the birthday episode.
Oh, cool!
I hope you got that meatball pizza I sent you in the mail.
No, it takes forever for me to get anything in Philly. The post office here sucks.
I was gonna say though, it might have also been my fault because I did light the candles before I put the pizza in the box. So I don't. I heard there was a fire at the local post office processing plant. I don't know if that's related. I'm just saying though, if I have to run to Mexico for like a few months, that's where I went. Or maybe I didn't. Wink, wink.
The point is you're guilty for arson, and but yeah, it was fun. Then I had to work a lot, so my life is nothing but work. Wah.
Did you get?
But it's podcast day, so hey, I'm not being negative. I'm happy to be here for the Level With Me podcast. I'm ready to get started.
Did you get anything cool, like any presents?
Yes, I got a grill, and that's why I'm excited. This Friday, I'm gonna be firing it up.
Nice. Grill With Me podcast, live stream grilling coming soon.
It's the best spinoff we could ever have for this podcast.
Now, I like to use hickory wood. It adds a really nice flavor to the meat. I actually didn't know there were different types of charcoal you can use, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I should actually look up what this does.
Oh, my gosh.
But with that being said, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Level With Me podcast, episode 92. I am one of your hosts, Game Bro Corey. How you doing, folks? I hope you're enjoying the rambling before the proper pod. And I am joined by my co-host, Mike, a.k.a. The Collector's Vault. Happy birthday to you, Mike. How you doing?
Oh, well, thanks, Corey. I'm 31 years young. And hello, everybody. Welcome back to Level With Me. This is Mike, the old man whose knees buckled on his 31st birthday. I woke up and I just felt my legs just buckle. 30, my glass bones and my paper skin.
31. That's the age where you're allowed to gamble, right?
Yeah, and in 5 more years I'll finally be able to rent a car.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Then another 5, you have to get like a prostate exam, right?
No, I had that when I was a little younger. It was disturbing. It was something for football practice or something. I had to do that for football.
I don't know. The coach said it was a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, he put both hands on my shoulders like, Mike, just trust me, okay? And I'm like,
It'll help with your throw.
That was disturbing.
Catch this, Mike.
I can't believe I just said that.
Cancel your football coach.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is the Level With Me podcast. We like
hashtag me too.
We like to make jokes here. You know, it's not a joke. Video games. Hey, it's the #1 video game podcast in the world. So, with that being said, we're gonna start with the most video game news. I cursed again. I'm sorry. I gotta get another quarter here. I'm running out of them. Damn it! Oh, I just did it.
But look, just think of all the games you're gonna buy with it, though. It's so worth it.
Think of all the V-Bucks. Anyways.
Yeah. Movies.
Video game. Yep. We got a movie here first, technically. So, I don't know if you saw this, Mike. I actually didn't. I didn't even know this was a thing. This is I guess it's technically the official second trailer for Luca, the upcoming new Pixar movie, which I believe is going to be premiering on Disney Plus. I don't know if it's going to be free or if it's going to be that weird premium thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have not seen this trailer. Let me mute the audio. I'm going to live react it right now in the podcast. I think that'll be fun. Let me make sure the quality is higher. So, oh God. Got to turn the audio off so we don't get demonetized. Okay. All right. We got mermen. I'm thinking of the Atlanteans. I'm thinking of Mermel. Hashtag Yu-Gi-Oh! It's beautiful. Anything Pixar or Disney animated with water is just fantastic nowadays. Moana was amazing. I was reading the synopsis, and I guess this takes place in, like, Italy, which is kind of interesting. Oh, wow. This animation is, like, so good. I have, like, no context watching this on mute, but it's beautiful. So it appears that there's, like, a fish man, and he comes out of the water, and he's like, oh, I can actually be a human, too, you know, and just roll around. Oh, my God. This like Italian coastal town. I love it. It makes me think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but that's besides the point. They're playing kickball. There's a Vespa. The Vespa is looking crisp. A lot of detail on that thing. Really new. I feel like abandoning this bit. I don't know what else to say. I'll watch it later. Is that okay?
I'll have you know, I was actually closing my eyes and trying to imagine everything that you were describing.
Okay, so from the plot of it is like this boy like meets this other boy, and one of them's like a like fish person. Like he lives in this like underwater like world with like his other like fish people, but apparently he can like come to the surface somehow through, I guess, magic. And, like, they're, like, best friends. And basically he's, like, trying to... There are, like, a bunch of antics where, like, he's almost getting caught. Like, if he gets water on him, he converts back to his, like, scaly fish body. So there's a lot of scenes where he's like, oh, there's a cup of water that lands on his face. And then he turns into his horrifying fish body. And he's like, oh, no, hope no one sees me. Again, without any audio, I can't really comment too much. Like, I would like to know the actual... what's the word I'm looking for? Like the voice actors or like the music and stuff like that. It looks like the other character also is like a fish, can be a fish person as well. I don't know. I also am curious again if that movie is going to be like I forget what is it called, like Disney Premium or whatever it's called, where you have to like pay for it.
I don't recall. I didn't do that because I just paid for my Disney Plus. I didn't do the premium thing.
I didn't do that either. I still really want to watch that Raya.
I would say that Raya and the Last Dragon thing. I want to watch it, but I'm sorry, I can't justify paying $30 for it.
I want to say it's probably got to be coming out soon, right? That came out like in the beginning of the year. Like that should be free soon.
By now, I'm just gonna pirate it
somewhere. I'll give it a Goog right now. Raya and the Dragon, 2020. When will it be free? Let's see here. Let's check out Wikipedia. They're always the most. Oh wait, we'll just go on Disney Plus official. Now available on early or digital stream. That's not what we're looking for. When is it available for free? June 4th. Okay, so we still have a little bit of ways to go.
We'll get there.
I did see an article. I mean, I didn't involve it or include it in the stories here, but I guess like the actual like producers, like the people at Pixar. I don't think the people at like, because Raya was like Disney animation, but the people at Pixar, I guess, weren't happy with like these a lot of these like Pixar movies just going on to Disney Plus. I don't know why. I don't know if that has to do with like maybe like how much money they make, or like I have no idea. Because if you do think about it, I mean, Onward and Soul, which Soul was definitely Pixar. I don't remember. I think Onward was Pixar.
I'm pretty sure they were both Pixar movies.
And they were both free. Like, you didn't have to do the premium thing. They actually just started that with Mulan, weirdly enough. And I guess they are continuing with... Well, actually, I don't know. I don't want to put words in my mouth and say, oh, this movie you also have to pay for. But it's a Disney Pixar movie. I'm a sucker for anything like Disney animated. I'm definitely going to check this out. I think it looked cool. I need more context for the trailer, though. I need to go actually watch it with the audio, the soundtrack, the voice actors, etc. Failed bit. I'm sorry. Just skip that. Well, I don't know. When time travel exists, we'll come back to this episode, and I'll give you back your 4 minutes or whatever I took from you.
You better. I'm gonna hold you to that.
I'm sorry, guys. I really dropped the ball there. It's because it was movie related. Now we're actually going to move into video game related. This is the #1 video game podcast on the world. In the world. On the world? In the world? Could it be both?
Whatever.
Sure. So let's start here with some video game news. Sony to aggressively, in quotes, invest in first-party studios and third-party exclusives. Sony will, quote, aggressively invest, unquote, in its first-party studios in the next year, as well as creating more partnerships with third-party studios. And it's throwing a lot of money behind the plan. Speaking during today's Sony earnings call, Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki explained that the company wants to enhance its exclusive offerings and will do so in 2 ways. His quote is, "We intend to continue investing in partnering with external studios in addition to aggressively investing in our in-house studios." Todoki pointed specifically to the company's partnership with Assassin's Creed creator Jade Raymond's new studio, Haven, which will create a new PlayStation IP as its first game. After announcing a new multiplayer game from ex-Destiny and Halo developers, it looks as though we may see more exclusive partnerships popping up over time. That's kind of, I want to say that's kind of just been like Sony's forte. Like that's pretty much what they've been known for. And I think that's kind of like what a lot of like Sony's fans have been like adamant about,
yeah,
the new God of War, Bloodborne, Uncharted 4, The Last of Us Part 2, Astrobot, like the list goes on and on. I'm sure I'm missing some right now. Forgive me. Horizon Zero Dawn, that's one. But yeah, it just makes sense.
It's like no surprise though. Like, of course, they're going to invest in first party studios and third party. Like, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm just like, yeah, it's like that's Sony for you. I'd be more impressive if Xbox had this announcement. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, finally they're actually doing something productive.
It's definitely interesting how this is all going to play out. At the end of the day, I'm happy to always see like just new ideas and new IPs. Last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, we had that story about the Days Gone developer, how they like tried to pitch Days Gone 2, and just because Days Gone didn't like sell enough numbers or whatever, unfortunately that didn't like continue or get a sequel, and that kind of sucks. And I'm sure that's going to happen again and again because not every game is going to succeed, unfortunately, but I just like seeing new things. So overall, this does make me happy. And again, kind of just like what you were saying, like Sony is almost just going to continue doing, what they're good at and putting out more of these blockbuster first-party studios or studio games. So this was a weird one that came out of nowhere. PlayStation Plus Video Pass is a streaming app, will be tested for a year in Poland. There was an update to the story. Let me get to the original one. Sony has seemingly accidentally released information about an unannounced PlayStation Plus Video Pass, which could add movie and TV content to the existing PS Plus subscription service. Spotted by VGC, the PlayStation Poland website added and then quickly removed a banner that showed off the apparent service, accompanied by the text that, when translated, read, "A new benefit available for a limited time on PlayStation Plus. PS Plus Video Pass is a trial service active April 22nd, 2021 to April, basically for one day, the 21st to the 22nd. The subscription benefit is available. Oh, excuse me. It's for it's for one day. The subscription, it's for a year, actually. It was from April 22nd, 2021 to April 22nd, 2022. Okay. So it's like a year subscription service. And then let me look at the update. I think this is like the actual like announcement of it. Sony has confirmed that the PlayStation Pass Video Pass, that's a horrible name, is a trial service running in Poland for a year and will offer 21 movies and TV shows at no extra cost to PlayStation Plus subscribers. Speaking to Spiderweb, Sony's Nick McGuire explains that the pass comes in the form of a PS4/PS5 app, which initially allows PS Plus subscribers to watch 21 movies and TV, including Venom, Baby Driver, and all 6 seasons of Community. McGuire says new titles will be added to the list every 3 months, and no change to PS Plus price in Poland will be made. McGuire didn't give a set idea of when or if the service would be extended to other regions. The Polish test will allow Sony to see which titles are most watched and how often the app's used by PS Plus subscribers. I'm not going to go through all the lists of movies and TV shows or series that this pass provides. This is honestly one of the most weird and random benefits that I've seen come out of like these services. It actually really makes me think of the back in the day when Microsoft was initially showing off the Xbox One, and they were really pushing that the Xbox One, like the concept behind it, that it was your one and all media box. So when they were initially revealing this thing, they showed off a lot of stuff about like how you can plug in like a HDMI in and out, and it could basically be almost like your DVR or your TV or whatever, and you can actually have like TV services through your Xbox One. Of course, it had like a Blu-ray player in it. And I almost feel like we're kind of almost coming full circle, even though it's with Sony here, where this is like you're getting almost like a very watered down streaming service with your PlayStation Plus subscription. I think it's also interesting that it's only in Poland, I guess as a test, like again, just to see, you know, how many people are actually going to use this. The reason it's also like a very small amount of series and movies, I believe all these are related or published by Sony, or they own these rights. So in a way, this is like Sony's own streaming service, so to say. Like these are things they own or made deals with, which is kind of weird.
The Sony CU.
But
I mean,
that's a really odd one. I personally wouldn't care if PlayStation offered this. I feel like I would barely use it unless there was like one thing or an exclusive thing. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'll check that out. But other than that, like, I don't know, man. I feel like we're just having way too many of these subscriptions or these streaming services. I'm kind of reiterating a lot of talk I've heard on other podcasts, but in a way, it almost seems like we're reverting again, because what happened with cable is you would have to like sign up for all these different plans to get all these different like channels. And that was kind of what ended up being the downfall of cable, is because you ended up having to pay for like a lot of stuff you didn't want to use, where like now I guess it's a little bit better because you can pick and choose what you want. But at the same time, every like month or so, there's like 3 or 4 new like companies who are like, oh, we have our own streaming service and we're going to have these exclusive shows and these exclusive movies, and we have the rights to Back to the Future. So if you ever want to watch those in 4K, Ultra HD, you have to subscribe to our service to see those. It's a weird time we live in.
Indeed.
Speaking of weird things announced, Five Nights at Freddy's. You ever hear about this game? Security Breach.
I've heard a thing or two about
it. The newest game, Security Breach, has been delayed again. And the creator, Scott... Oh, God, what's his name? It's in here. Scott Cawthon apologizes with free beat-em-up. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach has been delayed a second time into late 2021, but its creator has released a free spin-off game in the style of Streets of Rage as an apology. In a Reddit post today, developer Scott Cawthon explained that the second delay following its initial move from the end of 2020 to early 2021 was due to the game's scope continuing to get bigger and bigger as work on it progressed. So that's not really the story here, is that it got delayed. A lot of games that got announced in like 2020 have pretty much all almost been delayed, and that's mostly due to like the ongoing problems with the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of people are working from home and they might not have access to all the pieces of tech that they had at their company, or maybe even in some cases they can't like work to their full efficiency, or maybe there's like, you know, just even technology like communicating with other people is like lacking. But what I mainly wanted to talk about here is the weird thing where he actually did release, though, another game here as an apology. And I actually sent it as a link to you, Mike, just so we could like look at this
I
thing.
see it.
And yeah, it is a beat 'em up.
It's like a full game. I can't believe. Like, I will say this because I was really big into the Five Nights universe and everything. Like when the game first came out, and I was following all the games. I will say Scott is a really talented developer because he made some of these games. Like I think after Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out, he started working on the second one. It was released in like less than a year, or like less than half a year, I think. Like, and the games are obviously the game's not like Horizon Zero Dawn, but like for one guy to do this all by himself, it's like it's really impressive. Like I don't know how he does it. And it's like right here, the fact that he actually made this looks like a full fledged little mini game that you might be able to buy for like $5 or $10 somewhere on like a indie platform. Like it looks, but like he made this in like while working on this, he realized I can't. This won't be released in time. While I'm doing this, I'm going to work on this as well, just to release it in the meantime. Like, it's incredible that he can do this kind of stuff. And I'm not sure if he has a team with him right now. I assume he does because he's obviously grown. He's not just like an
I think
guy.
He does have a team at this point.
Well, that's good. But regardless, like my God, good on you, Scott.
I think the thing that confuses me the most about this is I don't understand like where this even came from. Like I'm almost like theory crafting here. Like, do you think like this was going to be something included in the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach game, like as an additional mode or something like that? Because yeah, there's like so much. Like this is available, I assume right now. I think you can download it, and it's just a full beat 'em up. And there's like it looks like a lot of good like artwork for the characters and the backgrounds and the enemies. And this doesn't look like
a bit of a teaser. I think it might be inspired by the game Security Breach, so there might be some Easter eggs in here that'll kind of give people a taste of what the game's going to be, or what the real game's going to be, like character wise. At least that's my hunch.
Something about this is just really weird to me. Like looking at this Five Nights at Freddy's, what's this game actually called? Fury's Rage. Just seeing the characters like this, because it's very much like that 80s 90s Streets of Rage or Fatal Fury or Final Fight style beat 'em up, and then all the Five Nights at Freddy's characters are like furry personified. So like Freddy,
they are
has got like his ripped off sleeveless vest. His biceps be looking like Ryu, and he's got like the fingerless gloves, and he's got like these crazy like face tats, and he's got like the edgy like earring. There's like this chick Roxanne who literally looks like something out of DeviantArt. Shout out DeviantArt. It's very odd. It's really weird. There've been a lot of these weird, like very like side project Five Nights at Freddy's games. Like there was that one that's like a RPG where they had like these like chibi sprites of all the Five Nights at Freddy's characters. And then there was that pizza simulator or something, which at the outside looking in, it was this weird, like, very, like, low poly, almost like an Atari style game, which isn't uncommon in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, because in all the games, there are, like, these mini games that look like Atari style graphics or whatever. Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, as you get deeper into the pizza simulator, that game is actually...
It's an actual Five Nights... Yeah, it's an actual Five Nights game. That's why it's amazing. Like... That game actually that game like shocked me, because I was like, oh, let me play for fun. And I'm like, oh my God, it's actually like continuing the story. But that's a whole other can of worms, though. And again, we don't need to stroke Scott's ego here, but
I did think it was cool what he was doing with the sister location stuff, where they made that more of a proper game where you actually like can explore a little bit more, and it's not just about like managing your like electricity and timing the doors and the flashlights and stuff like that. Like they made it more of like a actual exploratory experience, which again is kind of what they're going for with this brand new game, which is why it actually looks kind of impressive to me with Security Breach. But yeah, I stay a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's from the corner. Everyone can play it and enjoy it. I will just, once the game is out, I'll go on the Five Nights at Freddy's wiki and just read all about it. I'll watch Markiplier or someone play through all the game and get all the beats, because that story for some reason keeps me really enthralled, even though I've never played any of the games.
The story was so good, or at least it was so intriguing. And now at the point, I just don't care anymore because it's so convoluted.
Yeah, I think
It is
again we talked about that in another
convoluted.
podcast. What was that number fourth time I said that?
Yeah. Oh, the segues.
All right, yeah. Speaking of monsters, we are now going to move into the last segment of our podcast, the last segment of our news stories here, which are all Nintendo themed. Because here at Level With Me Podcast, we love Nintendo so much that we always like to keep all the Nintendo news for the very end. It's like a dessert. Speaking of monsters, as I just said, Monster Hunter Rise update adds new Elder Dragons, Apex Rathalos, and Diabolos. Capcom has revealed several new monsters being added to Monster Hunter Rise as part of the game's first free update available from today. They include powerful Elder Dragons and Apex variants of two of the series' most popular beasts. Elder Dragons, oh boy, here we go. Kushala Daora, Teostra, and Chameleos form the trio of highly powerful foes coming as part of the update. They're joined by Apex Diabolos and Apex Rathalos. Additionally, Apex monsters already available in Rise can now be hunted outside of Rampage quests. Magnamalo, has also been added to the Rampage quest rotation. The update also allows players to forge layered armor, and the Max Hunter rank will be unlocked when players fulfill all the required conditions. New event quests will also be released following the launch of the update, and these can be played offline once they have been downloaded. Finally, new premium cosmetic DLC is available for purchase, containing new voice options, sticker sets, gestures, layered armors for buddies, and more. Hashtag microtransactions. But, you know, funny I ended on the microtransactions, as I was going to like completely turn it around and say, good on Capcom. Besides those little cosmetics type stuff, like all this content, it's like absolutely free. It was just a big like content dump. Here's more monsters. Obviously, you hunt the monsters and you make new armor sets and new like clothing or weapons, excuse me. They just added a bunch of new content to the game. And I correct me, listeners, if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this update also added the canonical ending to Monster Hunter Rise, because I've actually not completed all the quests in Monster Hunter Rise yet, but I know that the core game, like, it had a lot of missions you can do and a lot of monsters you can hunt, but there actually was no ending to the game proper, which is kind of crazy. But if I'm mistaken, they will definitely update the game and add the ending very soon. But they're just going to continue to keep updating the game. I mean, it's the newest Monster Hunter. I believe this one is going to be eventually released elsewhere on PC and probably on the other consoles at some point. Monster Hunter Rise is really good. I think it might have sold more than Street Fighter 2, which was Capcom's like most popular game, so that's kind of crazy.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I think I saw an article about that. Maybe I should have put, I don't know. I saw something about Monster Hunter Rise selling like incredibly well. There's also some news about the other Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Stories 2. I don't really have much to say on that. I mean, if you're a fan of that, you go look that up. This is not the podcast for Monster Hunter Stories 2. Speaking of crazy worlds to explore, Super Nintendo World forced to close as Osaka heads back into lockdown.
No!
Mamma mia!
I don't understand it. I thought everything was slowing down with the... Oh, gosh. I hate the world
apparently
sometimes,
not
man.
in Japan. As reported by Ars Technica, Universal Studios is shutting down the park starting April 25th in what the company is calling a temporary closure. The shutdown comes as part of a broader lockdown order in the Osaka area. Yeah, let me see if the article actually goes into it. I believe there has been like a bunch of like cases spiking in Japan. I don't know what's the cause of that. I mean, I haven't really looked into it too much. Maybe just read like a headline on Twitter or something like that.
It looks like it says the main reason is because Japan's vaccine rollout has been delayed or slow.
Okay, there you go.
Which might explain it. Because apparently all over the world where they have plentiful vaccines, apparently like this Everything seems to be like opening back up again. Like people are, returning to their normal lives. So I can kind of understand it if the vaccines really haven't been rolling down in Japan, and it's Japan's incredibly densely populated. So I can kind of see why if they don't have the vaccine, it can be a bit troublesome.
That's completely understandable.
Yeah, I'm still mad though.
Yeah, and I'm sure obviously Universal and Nintendo and even like the people in Osaka are upset that they had to close this down, because I'm sure it was bringing a lot of like tourism and especially like money into their economy, because everyone's economy has really been hindered from the pandemic. So, it's like a big like ripple wave effect, but they're just doing what's, safe. And at the end of the day, it is going to open up. It's not like they're closing it and then like in a few months, Universal Studios is going to be like, well, guys, we gotta tear down the whole park. We can't make any money here anymore. And eventually one day there will be a Super Nintendo World in Orlando, Florida.
There better be. I want to shake hands with Shiggy and be like, sir, make more Zelda games.
I thought you were going to say Metroid, but okay.
He doesn't do Metroid. If I ever come across Yoshio Sakamoto, hell yeah, I'm gonna say that to him. I'm gonna whisper in his ear like the brain lizard or lizard brain, be like, "Better make more Metroid games, you son of a gun."
I actually would be curious. I actually don't know the last game that Shigeru Miyamoto worked on, because I feel like for the past few years, Shigeru Miyamoto has been working on more like bigger outside things with like Mario and Nintendo. Like he had a lot of involvement with this Super Nintendo World coming into fruition, and then I believe he's also working a lot on that Super Mario movie that's going to come out from Illumination Studios. I'm surprised we haven't seen a trailer for that yet. But I think you're right. Like Miyamoto's been like more. He obviously has like risen to the higher ranks of Nintendo, where he's like a high executive. So I think like when it comes to certain games like Zelda and Mario, or basically any of like his characters, I think he's just there as like a consultant. I think. Yeah. I think I remember hearing that on Mario Odyssey, like as great as that game was, I heard like Miyamoto had very little to do with that game. It was mainly Yoshiaki Koizumi, I think, was the main driver for that game. I mean, take it how you will, guys, but I think that Super Mario Odyssey was quite a fine game. I actually liked it quite a bit.
No, it was amazing. I'm saying, but I think Miyamoto just had nothing to do with it. Like he was mainly just there for like consulting purposes,
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, hey, if anyone has any like worries eventually when like these higher ups at Nintendo step down or even like
retire
or whatever, like
Nintendo games will still be good. Sad now. Stop it! I'm getting sad. I'm just thinking of Mr. Iwata. Don't do it to me, Corey.
Speaking of Iwata, I really want to buy his book. It actually got translated. Me too. I don't know if you saw that. It's not even that expensive. It's like $20, less than $20.
I do want to buy it. I do.
It's on Amazon.
Want to read his book.
Go look it up, folks. Iwata Asks. It's pretty cool. It's like again, I'm kind of reiterating some things I heard on other podcasts, but I think it's really interesting, that book, because we don't really get a lot of insight with how a lot of businesses in Japan like function, especially Nintendo. So it'd be kind of interesting to see like the inner workings there a little bit. Also, from what I understand, Iwata was a very like, he didn't really talk about that stuff either. Like he was very like just dedicated doing his work, and he was like very humble. He didn't really like brag, and I think that's just kind of how the Japanese culture is as well. So it's very interesting to like read this book and actually get more insight about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be great to go to Super Nintendo World and like take some pictures with like Mario and Luigi and that big old Toad that's like really chunky. And I guess now you can take pictures and print them out from your Nintendo Switch. Perhaps in new Pokemon Snap coming out this Friday.
Oh my! Already? My God!
It's the Nintendo printer, and now it's in your pocket. You don't have to go to Blockbuster or Toys R Us to print out your Pokemon Snap pictures. Now all you need is the new Fujifilm printer. Turn your Nintendo Switch screenshots into Polaroids with the new Fujifilm printer. Nintendo and Fujifilm are teaming up to make a new miniature printer and smartphone app that will let you take snapshots in Nintendo games and print physical versions. Dubbed the, quote, Instax Mini Link for Nintendo Switch smartphone printer, the palm-sized device lets you take pictures you shoot in games like Animal Crossing New Horizons, Super Mario Odyssey, and new Pokemon Snap and print out Polaroid versions. You can also add Nintendo characters, filters, and 59 frames to your photos via the smartphone app. And there's a bunch of images that they provided below. Again, it's a very small little convenient printer. I think that that's super rad that you can actually like connect to the Switch and act, like I said, the dream of just having this for your new Pokemon Snap pictures. There was an update here for this story. Let me read that quick. It's been noted by users who tested the Instamax Mini Link, which is identical to the one currently available in retailers just without any special Nintendo or Pokemon branding, that the upcoming app is not required to print screenshots from your Switch to a Polaroid. Instead, the upcoming app will give users the option to add Pokemon Nintendo-themed frames to their photos. But for users who want to just print out screenshots from their Switch, they can do so already by transferring their screenshots to their smartphone and using an Instax Mini Link to print the photo directly without any special frame. Interesting. Well, there you go. I think that's really cool.
I think it's a bit gimmicky, but it's cool.
Do you use a lot of that like button on the Switch for like the screenshots? Like how often you hit that thing?
I hit it once in a blue moon, and it's always by accident. And I'm like, I hit it again. I thought it was a start button.
So if you go through your albums on the Switch, it's just a bunch of like random screenshots where you're like, oh yeah, I just accidentally hit it here or there.
I'm sure it comes into play for like online social media, like sharing funny pictures. Like I know a lot of people do that for Smash Bros and stuff, but I don't use it. It only gets in the way.
I honestly probably could count the number of times I used it on both my hands. So obviously less than 10. I haven't used it that much. Honestly, I feel like I used it way more with Animal Crossing, especially even like Megan and me. Like we would just have little funny interactions with our villagers or like taking pictures of like watching what the villagers do because they're all, they got like their own little AI and they go around the island and they'll have like little interactions with the other villagers or maybe they'll be doing like something silly. I feel like that's where I ended up using that a little bit more. I remember I feel like I took a decent amount of pictures in Super Mario Odyssey because there's a lot of cool stuff. I remember I got really excited when I got to that level. It's a very short world, but it's like that castle themed area and you fight that big like purple dragon that's like a hyper realistic dragon out of nowhere. I referred to that area as like the Castlevania or the Dark Souls level. Like it literally just comes out of nowhere. It's very short, but I loved it. But yeah, I didn't really use it that much either, I guess. I'll take pictures of like glitches or just weird things that happen in the game. Then I'm like, oh, look at that. You don't see that every day.
I probably should do it whenever I'm playing like Zelda Breath of the Wild. But then again, there's already a camera feature in that game, so I don't know.
That's true. I used it a few times in Zelda just because I was like so impressed. That was like the first thing I played on the Switch, and it was just like, breathtaking, obviously.
True.
But as we continue here, speaking of me and my personal experience with taking pictures on the Switch, Miitopia demo is out right now, folks, and it comes with a save data transfer. You can go play the free demo of the new Miitopia game on the Switch, and if you'd like, you can, transfer your progress and continue playing it when it comes out on May 21st. I don't really have any interest in playing this game. Me neither. It is literally like a remake of the one on the 3DS. But hey, I just wanted to point that it's out there. It's a Nintendo story.
I'm sure it's gonna have its fans. I was just never a big fan of that kind of stuff. Oh well.
Oh God, I'm sorry to pause, but I actually had I had a tiny little bug on me. I guess it was when I was outside grilling, and I felt something. It scared me for a second. Yeah, it was like a tiny little beetle. Don't worry.
Did it lay any eggs inside of you?
Oh no, I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night, and it's gonna be like Alien. Oh no, I'm scared.
It was nice knowing you.
I'm gonna go drink bleach and kill it. I'll be fine though. I ate the Big Mac
Which-
from McDonald's.
Yeah, the Thousand Island dressing will coat your stomach and protect you.
All right. Speaking of parties in my stomach, last but not least, out of the blue, Super Mario Party. Remember this game? Where's the new characters?
Yeah.
Where's the new boards? Forget that. Now you can play online. 2 years later, after the release, they finally add, sorry to yell, but they finally add the feature that you can play the boards online. You can play the mini games freely online. And then there's the partner party, which is kind of like a co-op version of the traditional Mario Party board mini game. Again, just out of the blue, they added all these features.
I feel this had to have been a calculated move. Where they purposefully left this stuff out. Because the game was still kind of popular. People still liked it. But everyone was craving more online play. Because this is perfect for online play. And then obviously it's 2021. Yeah, it's 2021. It's a little bit slower. Yeah, sure. Now we'll release it just to make everyone think, oh, yeah, I heard that game, Mario Party. Let's play it again.
Are you saying that you think Nintendo needs more subscriptions for their online? You think they're just trying to hike that number up? You're telling me
it's very possible.
You're telling me that Pac-Man 99 didn't already do that? The hit new Battle Royale?
We never got we never got the N64 online thing, so
yeah, where the hell is that? Where's Game Boy Advanced emulators or even just Game Boy Color?
I would love a GBA. Oh my gosh.
I am shocked how they haven't been pumping that stuff out more.
I know. And or even just more games for the Super NES part of it. Yeah. I can complain forever.
Yeah, we both can, Mike, because you just look at the past. Like the 3DS had all this stuff. It had like a Game Boy Advanced emulator and a Game Boy Color. The Wii U had like GameCube games and of course N64. The N64 emulator was on the Wii. I digress. Yep. This is out now. You can go play one of the 3 boards in Super Mario, 4 boards in Super Mario Party. I like Super Mario Party. I don't want to like crap on it. I think it's a lot of fun. I just wish they actually put more content into it, not just, oh, you can play online. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just add essentially like a season pass to this game like they did with a few of their other properties. I would have instantly bought like a $30 pass that's like, oh yeah, we're going to add like some more characters and some more boards. Like, I would have been all on board. No pun intended.
No, I totally agree. I think they definitely dropped the ball on this.
Especially because it was like a reboot series. And like, I mean, at this point, like, I think it would just probably be best if they just do what they do with Mario Party and just make another sequel and just add some more stuff to it. I actually had like a somewhat long discussion with my buddy about Mario Party in general because I didn't realize that after Mario Party 8 on the Wii is when Hudson stopped developing those games. I didn't realize that Hudson made all the Mario Party games prior to that. And
that might explain why 9 and 10 had that whole different format, but the car.
Absolutely. And even in Super Mario Party, they did kind of, quote-unquote, go back to their roots, but it's also like not really exactly the same as like the original Mario Party games, but it's similar. But yeah, it's definitely why those 9 and 10 were like in the cars, and they weren't trying to be as, like, I guess, mean or nefarious that Mario Party is known for, where there's just like, oh, you stole my star, and now you're just in first place and instantly won. Like, how dare you? Yeah.
Yeah, the 9 and 10 were like, let's play the game together and be teamwork. It's like, no, this is the game where you make enemies.
Oh, man.
Friends become enemies in Mario Party.
I
remember Mario Party 2, when someone got 50 coins, it's like, oh my god, they're going to pay that boo to steal my star.
I remember in Mario Party 2 when I had a palm. Now my palm is just gone forever. The scar remains.
Yeah.
That's wild that they sent out, like, they actually had things sent out to put on the, like, joystick thing on the N64 controller because so many people were, like, hurting their palm and getting blisters.
I know. It looked like I had, like, the stigmata or something on my hand because of all the spinning I was doing.
I had some other bit in there, but I lost it. Let's just move on. That's it.
All right.
That's it for the news. we're now going to move into our weeks of what we've been watching and playing. You want to go first, Mike?
Sure, because I really don't have much to talk about. Unfortunately, like I said, this past 2 weeks, besides my very fun birthday weekend.
Yeah.
No, well,
you had time to play games. You were partying.
Exactly.
You were playing pin the tail on the donkey. You were hitting the llama Fortnite pinata and getting the candy out of there.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, I feel like I'm a bad co-host, but I really couldn't play games this week. Had a lot of work, but I will say I'm still trying to get some more Minish Cap played because I want to, get more episodes out for Level With Me on YouTube. Can't wait for us to play again so we can get more No More Heroes and some maybe more AM2R.
I long for that day.
I know. I want it so bad. But with that being said, I do plan on playing some games at some point. And I did watch, I didn't watch any movies recently, but I did continue watching the show Invincible. And again, every Friday the episode comes out. And yeah, this last episode is definitely one of those episodes where I kind of just laugh because of how just like brutal it is. Like where like there's like the blood and the gore. I'm like, oh my god! Like it's kind of like when you watch one of those animes that are just like super gory. And it's like, wow. And it makes you wish like, I wish American or Western TV shows or Western cartoons were like this. And this show just does it for you. It's amazing.
Oh, that's really that both disturbs me and also makes me go, oh, I really need to watch that now.
Yeah, like I remember when I was like Dragon Ball Z used to have a couple good scenes where like, oh, I wish Dragon Ball Z had more gory scenes like this, and they really kind of like cut back. And like I mean like even like back in the 90s when we got to like the Cell Saga, they really like there were some times where there were some times where it was pretty gory and other times where it was pretty like lax. I'm like, they could have gone a bit more extreme than this. But anyway, like there are some scenes here where like people are just getting punched in the stomach and like someone again they're superheroes, so like when they punch somebody they are punching through someone's stomach, and I just laugh because it's just so bizarre, but it's awesome. So yeah, good episode. Definitely a big cliffhanger for this episode. Again, no spoilers, but I can't wait to see what happens next week. Maybe when the season's all wrapped up, I can maybe give a better synopsis. But right now, I don't do any spoilers.
This last episode, make sure you bring your poncho because you're basically sitting in the splash zone the whole time.
Yeah, I have a new fancy TV that actually like sprays you with blood when there's blood in the TV show.
Yeah, I saw your finished basement. That looked nice.
Yes. Yeah, that's true too. I finally got the basement off, all done, and it looks very nice. It's very cozy. I swear, like when I'm down there, like, and I kind of like dim the lights to either play. Well, I haven't had a chance to play like my Switch yet, but you're just watching a movie down there. Oh my god, it's so cozy, man. It is like I can just sink into that couch.
Then you guys got to go look up on his like Instagram. I think you took a picture of it. And you have like this door, like that's you kind of like blocked off with your couch. And
like, yeah.
That's don't tell me.
For storage.
I was gonna say I need to just like theory craft what's behind there. Like, is there is that like Mike's like brother that he like keeps down there, and he like feeds him like a roast beef sandwich every week?
He wish he got roast beef sandwiches. I give him fish heads. Fish heads on a plate. Here you go, buddy. Here you go, Igor. Or Hugo. What's that name? I think there was like a movie about that. Anyway.
Thelonious. Thelonious is like the god tier of like henchmen, Everyone wishes they're Thelonious.
Nice.
Shout out Shrek.
Pick number three, my lord.
Hey, if you guys like Shrek, check out Invincible on Amazon Prime. Very similar.
Yeah, there are green people in that show. Anywho, how was your week, Corey?
My week? Well, Mike, let me just tell you, again, I live in the past. I gotta bring up that I've recently discovered Discovery Plus, thanks to my mom. She got it, and I didn't realize, but there's just the whole catalog of Food Network, all 316 seasons of diners, drive-ins, and dives, all 32 seasons of Beat Bobby Flay. All okay, this one's not a joke, and I actually want to watch this. It's like, I think there's like 30 something episodes of Unwrapped. Have you ever watched Unwrapped or familiar with the show Unwrapped with Mark?
I can't say I've heard of it.
Okay, Unwrapped is essentially the How It's Made show, but it's all about like food or snacks or like candy. So like one episode they'll be like, "Oh, I bet you never knew how they made a Hershey bar." And then they go to like the Hershey we live not that far away from Hershey. I guess it's not a good example. I could just stroll in there and be like, "Oh," they'd be like, "Oh, it's Game Bro Corey.
Yeah,
Come on.
Hey, Corey's back. Yeah.
Let's give you a tour." What's this, the sixth time today? But yeah, like Unwrapped is essentially like a How It's Made for like very popular like snacks and like other popular brands of like food items you'd see at the grocery store. Like I'm sure they've done episodes on like DiGiorno frozen pizzas and stuff. It's interesting. And I'd like to go through all those. They're like a half an hour. It's good like background fodder. But anyways, what I actually ended up watching on Discovery Plus, and again, this is why I'm living in the past, I ended up watching one of my favorite comedians' newest shows, Chopped 420. Okay, now, Chopped, if you're not familiar, is a food competition show where basically these chefs come in and they have a mystery basket and they open it up and they have like 4 ingredients and have to incorporate the ingredients into their dish. And then one of them gets disqualified each round. And eventually someone wins and they win money. In Chopped 420, they have to do that exact same thing. But then they also have the greenhouse, as they call it. And they have to go in there and get different, CBD and THC infused products, as well as even just getting the actual like cannabis, like flower of marijuana or cannabis or whatever. And they can infuse that in their cooking as well. And it was very fascinating to me. The most fascinating thing, not even about all the weed or whatever, the judges I thought were really interesting folks. It kind of blows my mind considering like how recent cannabis and marijuana have become. It's just cannabis. I don't know why I keep saying it 2 different ways, but it's become like legalized in some states in some of the United States. In states of the United States. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's getting late.
Yeah.
But
sounds like someone had a little bit too much 420 fun.
Oh yeah, 420 was crazy. But it's become like legalized. So, and it's happened pretty recently for a lot of states. I think the first one is Colorado, which was in like maybe like 2014, 2015, not that long ago. And then you saw all these other states, a lot of West Coast, the more progressive states have all kind of like legalized it. But it blows my mind that there are like judges, like food critics already for these like THC infused dishes, considering this is not like a new thing, but it's just like, how do people even like judge this kind of stuff? And I think it's kind of wild that they like also have to do this stuff while they're also, getting like high from the food they're eating, because it has like different blends of CBD and THC. So it kind of almost like, it's weird that they like can even like do all this. It just kind of blows my mind. But the thing that's the most interesting thing about this show is honestly to me just the like weird ingredients that they put in these baskets. So typically that's kind of the appeal of Chopped, is they'll always throw like a really random wild card in there, like, oh, you have to use goat hoofs in your dish or something like that. And it's like, what do you do with a goat hoof? I've never cooked with goat hooves. And on Chopped 420, there were a lot of weird food items that do exist. They're real things, but it's like, who the F invented this thing? This is not a real food item, okay? I want you guys to go look up pickle pie, I think is what it's called. There's literally pie that they put almost like relish in it. Who eats that? That is so disgusting. I think it has a different name. I can't remember the proper name.
My favorite.
Basically, they described it as like what a pecan pie is, but instead of the tasty pecans that have been like pralined and caramelized, it's just pickles.
Pickles?
Yeah,
it's kind of gross.
And then there was other weird things, like there was garlic ice cream, which I love both of those things individually. I love garlic. I love ice cream. I don't see myself eating garlic ice cream. That kind of sounds gross to me.
I would agree.
I'm trying to remember, because literally almost all these baskets which there's 3 per episode, had like one really odd ingredient. And there were like 5 episodes. It wasn't a very long series, but it was entertaining. I'm just trying to think of the other stuff. For some reason, the thing that's drawing to my mind is this thing called an armadillo egg. This is honestly probably the least weird thing. Okay, so it's not actually an armadillo laying an egg. Armadillos don't lay eggs; they're mammals. It is. If any of you are familiar with a Scotch egg, it's kind of something like that. It's basically a bacon wrapped ground sausage. I don't know, meatball looking thing, and it's wrapped around a jalapeno stuffed with cheddar cheese, and it's just pretty much like America on a plate, or like a heart attack on a plate. And I'm sure it probably tastes good. Like that, out of all these weird things, would be the thing that I'd probably try. But it's like that. It's like so much. Like I don't know. That was the thing that was most fascinating about the show, as well as the host comedian Ron Funches. I really like that guy. So yeah, that was an entertaining series. Chop 420. Happy 420. You know, I know you guys don't care about the weed talk. It's fine. You know what you will enjoy? I sat down this weekend and I finished up that there Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series. And my God, that series really ends with a bang. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I still gotta watch that show.
I would say that I don't think I enjoyed this series as much as WandaVision. I kind of enjoyed a lot of the like weirdness that WandaVision had episode to episode, with their like theming of how they kind of would make the different episodes like different decades of TV shows, or like parodies of different TV shows. I kind of like that. I also kind of enjoyed the like story a little bit more going on in WandaVision. However, I don't want to really take away anything from Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I would say it's pretty much like on par with this, like, what WandaVision's like style was. Like when I was done with the series, I was like, oh yeah, this was just like watching an MCU movie, just like a little bit prolonged. It's also a little bit different than WandaVision. WandaVision, the episodes were all about like a half an hour long. Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's less episodes, but they're all like about an hour long. And, I wanted to jump in when you were talking about Invincible, but there are a few scenes in Falcon and Winter Soldier that even have some like intense like gore going on. Not that intense because it is Disney, but it's still like a very impactful moment. And it's like, oh my God, like that is, it is a cool scene to see, but it is not a cool scene going on in the world of Marvel. I don't want to give too much away.
No, but I hear what you're saying. It's just exciting to think that, oh, this is like a change up. It's a bit darker than usual, Yeah.
I do really wish I could talk about that show. Like it's still fairly recent, but just the evolution of the characters by the end of the series. I don't know if people have seen what kind of happens to them, but it's pretty great where they end up going. I think it's really fun. I mean, this is a very mild spoiler, but I'd basically just say, like, at the beginning, Bucky and Sam, they don't really like see eye to eye. They're more like just like, oh, we work together, but we're not like friends. And by the end of it, like they really are like pal to pal, and it's kind of this like really like nice, like beautiful little way of how they like work together. And again, this could be like a minor spoiler, but I just think it's really neat, like how they're actually like this kind of calls back to WandaVision too, how they're like literally, these are, what's the word I'm looking for? These are like, you need to watch these if you want to keep up with the MCU. Like these are impactful. These are serious shows. Like I think that what happens in these shows are going to make a difference down the line in the MCU, like the actual movies. But yeah, I overall really enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. Especially, like, I'd say the last 2 episodes are really, really damn good. They're really good. I hope I don't hype them up too much, but they were really awesome.
I can't wait to check it out.
And they ended up just throwing the shield in the ocean. They're like, no one needs it. Let's just start over. Let's make a new shield.
Hope it doesn't age.
We'll put a big We'll put a big like Falcon on it or something. Or like a Big Mac, you know. What screams America? Like, who needs a star? Why don't you just put like the Golden Arches or Big Mac on there?
There you go.
But I do want to say, because of how much I've been enjoying Falcon Winter Soldier and how much I enjoyed WandaVision, and I've talked about this on the podcast before. Look, there's number 5. We got a bingo. I finally have decided to start rewatching the MCU proper. And, you know, I'm also a busy man. I didn't have a lot of time to dive into it, but I did want to shout out that I did end up watching the first Iron Man movie, which is the first movie in the 26 series of or Fate, the first, whatever you call it, of the MCU. And Iron Man is still a great movie. Going back to it, though, it is very different compared to what the MCU has turned into, especially with Disney purchasing all that stuff. I would say Iron Man is a little bit more raunchy than I'd expect. There's like a lot more like adult jokes in there, which I think kind of work, because at the end of the day, like, Iron Man is this like billionaire, like playboy, like, you know, full of himself kind of guy. So it does make sense, but definitely going back to that movie, it was a little bit jarring. However, I didn't think like all that stuff, like it aged okay. Like, I wasn't really like taken up back from it or anything like that. I was like, oh, it's just different, but it still was a cool movie, and I thought like how they handled all of it was fine. It's been a while, so I am gonna just spoil this. So sorry if you wanted to watch the MCU, but you know, the end of the movie, the first Iron Man, Tony's at the press conference and he just reveals, "Oh, hey, I'm Iron Man," and I was like, famous last words.
He's all come full circle.
And it's also just fun, like, seeing all the little like tidbits in there about, like, you know, I forget the name of the agent, like the main guy who's like part of Shield, but when he like comes up to like Tony and starts talking about them. And another thing that was really cool about that movie, which I didn't even notice originally, but the terrorist group that actually like captures Tony Stark are the 10 Rings. And if that sounds familiar, the new movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings is about the 10 Rings organization, which is this Middle East kind of like villain organization. So there you go. It's literally all like connected still. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It's getting a little bit late here for us, so forgive me, but I might skim through a couple of my other things here. Now, I don't really have too much more, but I did want to also point out about the movie I went to see in theaters. It was the new Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train. I wish I could probably have a podcast in it of itself to just talk about how much I enjoyed this movie. It could quite possibly be my favorite anime movie I've ever seen over a lot of like Ghibli stuff.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like the animation quality was incredible with this movie. And I mean, obviously they threw a lot of money at it. That was kind of like the consensus when I walked out of the theater. And there's literally like 8 or 9 like studios before you actually get to the first scene. Like, you know how before a movie it's like, oh, Marvel and Sony or whatever. There was like 8 or 9 different like animation studios, so which is a little funny to me just because you don't normally see that. But something else that was cool about this movie is most anime movies are usually like a non-canon, like, you know, just have fun. Here's a new like wacky villain who's like kind of like super crazy or has like a weird gimmick. But this movie was actually all canon. And this is going to lead, like, the events that happen in this movie are going to lead right into the second season of Demon Slayer. So it was really cool. But with that being said, I really can't talk too much about what happens in the movie. But also, weirdly enough, there are some scenes in this movie that even if you haven't watched the full Demon Slayer season 1, like, you could potentially follow what's going on in this movie. But again, the animation was just impeccable. The soundtrack to this movie, phenomenal. I really need to go look it up. And I really enjoyed like the character development of oh my god, I'm blanking on the names right now. all the main characters. It was a really good movie. It was really good. I talked a little about this on my stream before, and I'm sure I'll talk about it again. But yeah, that was incredible, and it was good to be back in the theater. But this is a video game podcast. Let me go through the video games I've been playing. Real quick, I want to point out that me and Megan sat down to play some video games, and we actually played some more of that CLubhouse Games. Shoutouts CLubhouse Games, the first Let's Play on Level With Me's channel. That game still holds up. I love going back to that game. It is a lot of fun. All those games, they're so simple, but I could literally just play them for hours and hours. I think they're just fun, and they don't require enough skill that, like, I feel like Megan definitely isn't as skilled at as many games as I am, and sometimes she can get a little frustrated at that, like, oh, you're just gonna win at whatever we play, so I don't really want to play, like, you know, certain games. And I understand that, and I feel like CLubhouse Games is a very, like, even playing field, so I generally enjoy playing them with her, and I can tell that she enjoys, like, vice versa. You know, we have a lot of fun with those games together. And CLubhouse Games already has, like, I want to say at least like 25 mini games you can play, like split screen with someone else. So it's a lot of fun. I really like that game. Very underrated Switch party game. Next up, I did take a moment to look into Call of Duty Warzone, its newest update, where they actually changed the Battle Royale map slightly. I believe it's Verdusk 84. So they kind of went back in time and themed it around the Black Ops Cold War era of warfare, whatever you want to call it. It was fun going back to it. I really only played like a few matches of it because I've honestly just been playing a lot of Fortnite, and I didn't know if I wanted to mitigate my time too much to all these other games. Like, I kind of just on a whim like checked it out because I was watching some other streamers play it, and I thought it looked fun. And I did enjoy my time going back to it, but I would really need to consider, like, if I'd want to get really back into it, I'd need to sit down and maybe check it out more or, like, learn that game again. But considering how much I'm playing Fortnite, it's like I don't really think I need too many Battle Royales to juggle, but who knows? I still do enjoy a good first-person shooter, especially Call of Duty. It plays really well. They keep adding new, like, weapons to that game, too, to keep it, like, fresh. It's fun. I don't have much more to say on it. And then, obviously, like I just mentioned, I've been playing a lot more Fortnite. I am definitely just 100% in the Fortnite ecosystem. I cannot ever criticize anyone if I ever read a story or comment about how they've spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on Fortnite. I 100% get it. I can't tell you how. I literally, when this podcast is over, I'm going to go check the item shop in Fortnite to see the skins they update, because they update every day at 8 p.m. They add like new skins to the rotation, and I'm fully aboard. Although I do try to take a step back and be like, Corey, don't spend too much money on this game. You know, you can buy a skin every once in a while. Like I mentioned earlier, there was that alien pack, and that's one that it's going to take a while for it to come back into rotation. Plus, it's like the themed packs, or these like crossover packs, I have more value for those than the actual like Fortnite in-game skins, which there are a lot of cool ones for those though. But yeah, that's like my exception. And I do want to not, like, I just need to be a little bit careful. I don't want to become like a skin hunter, so to say. Like, I actually just want to get better at like the game itself. So sometimes I need to like take a step back and be like, okay, this is just cosmetic. It doesn't matter what skin I have. I'd rather actually just try to get better at the game. And I do want to say that I have been getting better at the game. Guess what, guys? Practice makes perfect. If you keep playing and dedicating time to a game, you are eventually going to improve, because at the end of the day, Fortnite is like one of the only games I've really been playing consistently. And I'm learning, you know, I'm like getting better at aiming. I'm getting better with crafting the like barricades and the stairs, and even like editing the structures now, where you can add like a door or like a little window. I'm still very early along, still big noob baby mode right now, but I'm starting to get the hang of it more. I'm also getting more into like the crafting of weapons, where like if you get the makeshift guns and you get different materials, you can like upgrade them into higher tier weapons, which are just better, you know. That game's a lot of fun. I do really enjoy Fortnite now, which I can't believe I'm saying, but here I am. I thought, honestly, I was thinking about this at work today. I'm just a very unique, I guess is the right word, where I like I'm a very broad person where I like so many different things. Like I was playing Monster Hunter Rise like a few weeks ago, and I love that game, but yet I can also just go into Fortnite and play a lot of rounds of that, and it's like I have a lot of fun with that. I play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a platform fighting game, and I have a ton of fun with that. Like I like so many different types of games. I really don't have a specific genre that I could say is like, oh, that's my go-to one. That's my favorite. Which I think is a cool thing. But that's going to do it for my week. Mike, let's wrap it up with the question of the week.
Alrighty. So, this week I wanted to know... Well, I shouldn't say I. We wanted to know, what do you guys think about potentially there being another video game console out on the market? Not like another one from the existing companies. I mean, like, what if like another, basically, like, what if Sega came back and said, you know what, we're gonna make a new console, and or like, there's so many different game developers. Like,
but Mike, what about the Google Stadia?
I said video game consoles, Corey, not Netflix subscriptions.
But,
that's all it is.
But Mike, what about the Ouya?
Anyway, so we want to hear from you.
That's a real thing.
I don't want to talk about it. So we wanted to know what you guys said, and guess what? It was a 100% agreement from our poll. Everyone thinks, no, we don't want another.
They hate video games.
Yeah, they clearly hate video games.
We have enough.
They just. Yeah, well, that's actually kind of true.
Stop.
I thought personally,
I need a break.
I personally don't. I can't blame them for thinking this way, but I do just want to. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see someone like Sega think, yeah, we'll give it a shot again, or like EA. It just kind of. Well, I hate EA. Let's get a better example. Ubisoft, they're just like, you know what, we're gonna make our own console. That'd be kind of cool, I think. But I can completely understand why people. We have people like Death One Collector and Ellen Reese. They all voted and they said, yeah, we don't want more gaming consoles from other companies. So there you have it, folks. They all hate video games.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here a little bit, and one could say that we actually don't have just like the quote-unquote 3 video game consoles. If you think about it, there's 2 different models of Nintendo Switch. There's the regular Switch and there's the Switch Lite. If you think about
this is more like, yeah, but this is more for like the companies themselves. Like there's the Nintendo consoles, the Microsoft consoles, the Sony consoles, and there used to be like all the other random things from back in like the old days. Obviously Sega was around. Then there was like the Commodore 64. There was Atari. That was a big one. Like, what if like Atari came back? That'd be kind of interesting.
No, I get what you're saying. No, Atari's making hotels. They don't need to make a game console. You live in the game console now with Atari.
It's like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, it would be interesting. A lot of the publishers, it's hard to tell. Sega, I don't think they would ever come back, but
no, they won't.
I joked, but honestly, I could have seen like maybe Google or even Amazon like make more of a physical box type thing, because I feel like other publishers might have been more like eager to actually invest into those companies because they're like big multi-million-dollar tech companies. Like maybe they could have actually made deals with like EA or Activision or whatever and got the big games on. I honestly feel like, well, I mean, there were a lot of things wrong with Google Stadia, but if they actually got like more games on there quicker and maybe had a bit, I don't know, Google Stadia.
No, I agree. I think, but I just feel like it's not a game console. If they just used all their resources to make their own games and have like a physical console a physical console that's not just for streaming. That's my problem.
It would also be really curious, because I wonder what the like legwork would be on that, if like it would be harder for like, because if we're essentially putting this in theory, and sorry, I don't mean to drag this on too much, but you could potentially say then, like developers have to make like potentially 3 or 4 different versions of a game,
Yeah, it would definitely hurt the third-party developers and stuff, or the multi-platform developers. Yeah, I don't know. It was just interesting.
even like, I don't know if you consider this because like this market is gone, but what about like a few years ago when we had things like the like the handhelds, like the PS Vita and the 3DS? Like, would you consider them like two other consoles with like the, Wii
I would
U?
say, yeah, because technically they have their own games. Like, even though like Nintendo had, like, for example, the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance at the time, they were technically both Nintendo, but I would say that was its own console because the Game Boy Advance had its own games.
Yeah, the infrastructure and the style of games are completely different.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We do have a hidden fourth video game thing. It's mobile. Think how many games are on your phone right now?
Games. Yeah.
I'm playing Doodle Jump in 2021. It's still okay.
And don't forget the good old god of gaming, the PC.
True. Shout outs.
I guess technically,
Solitaire.
Yeah, I think that's true. PCs are Solitaire. PCs are, I guess, like the fourth
Galaxy
console.
Pinball. I might play some of that right after the podcast.
Oh my lord!
I love pinball. It's right on my computer. That like astronaut is like giving you the thumbs up. He's so positive. # positive vibes. All right. Well, on that note, you got to go out on positive vibes. Thank you all for listening to another wonderful episode of the Level With Me podcast. Please give us a follow or rate us or whatever on the podcast app. You can find the podcast on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora. We upload it on YouTube on the Level With Me channel. Hey, speaking of the Level With Me channel, go check that out. We have a lot of Let's Plays available there right now. Our No More Heroes and our Metroid. We were doing AM2R, right? Sorry, it's been a minute.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Those are in progress, and we will get back to those at some point. But we have a full Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion 3. We have a full Let's Play of Metroid Zero Mission, and there are a bunch of chunks of some other things that we were working on there. There's a lot of video content up on there. That's what I'm saying, as well as all the podcast archives from, the past year or so. So go check that out. Give us a subscribe. Watch some videos. Give them a like. If you want to hit me up, I am GameBro Corey. I mainly have been doing Twitch right now, twitch.tv/GameBro Corey, mostly playing Fortnite. I want to get back into playing more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What my stream schedule has been like is during the week I do Fortnite, weekend I do Smash. Might change a little bit though, because like I said, I've kind of been addicted to Fortnite, so I might just be playing a lot of Fortnite now. Maybe even get into Warzone, because I kind of been interested in that again. But check me out on twitch.tv/GameBro Corey. Also, check me out on Instagram and Twitter at GameBroCorey if you want updates for when I'm going to be going live on Twitch, as well as just whatever other garbage leaks out of my head. Maybe a nice picture of like me going on walks and appreciating nature, or just some tasty food I'm eating, not a Big Mac. Mike, where can the lovely listeners, whatever, find you?
Well, you guys can find me over at Wawa, as I'll be eating my buffalo chicken quesadilla and maybe a bag of chips. But then when I'm not eating,
right?
Yes.
Lay's
but when I'm
salt.
not eating, Lay's extra salt. But when I'm not eating at 2 a.m. in a drunken state, you can find me over at YouTube, over at the Collector's Vault, and I'm over on Instagram at the Collector's Vault. If you guys like collectibles, like especially collectible cardboard, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all that, sports memorabilia, all that fun stuff, come over here and just give me a follow. Check it out. I also like to do a couple of funny memes every now and again, just because memes are, what make the world go around. And we'll have all the information linked down below. And I do implore you, I'm so happy that Corey's been doing some more Twitch streaming. You guys should really go check it out. It's a good time.
I know Sheets you can get a pizza at, but I will say that at Wawa you can get meatballs. And I bet if you really buttered up one of those like employees behind the counters, you could get like some sort of janky like a meatball quesadilla thing. And if you squint your eyes enough while you're eating it, maybe it's like a borderline meatball pizza. So go to Wawa and get the sponsored Level With Me meal.
Why not get the best of both worlds? Get a pizza from Sheets and then go get the meatballs from Wawa. It's like when peanut butter met chocolate,
okay. Mike, I don't like where you're going with this. That kind of food nightmare fusion, polymerization, alchemy. I'm just going to say buzzwords. That's for the 420 episode. So you write all that down. You have to wait a whole year.
I'll save it for next year then.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go eat some food abominations myself. I'm a little famished.
Ooh, sounds like a fun time.
I'll take 2 cotton candy smoothies.
I don't have to respond to that. Oh God, candy.